Hello, my name's Ginny Bootman. I'm a special needs coordinator of 2 primary schools in Northamptonshire. I am really passionate about the role that empathy plays within the school context. You can find me on Twitter. I am at Senko Girl, and please do have a look at my website, which is www.ginnybootman.com. So we are going to follow the empathy road today, and I'm going to look at how we can use books to help our children understand empathy and for them to empathize with the characters within books. If you want to look at more about empathy, please look into the work of Brené Brown. She has some amazing work about what empathy is and how actually when we're empathizing, we are being alongside somebody and we are feeling what they feel. And I so feel that the role of books to help with empathy is of paramount importance. We can empathize with characters, children can empathize with characters, and then we get this lovely connection. So let me start with, we need to know our books. As class teachers, I do feel that we need to know the books that we have in our classrooms. So one of the top tips I'd give is go into your classroom, really honestly have a look at the books you've got. Have you read them? Has somebody in the school read them? Is there somebody that children can go to talk through a book that they're reading? I've done this, and honestly, when I looked at the bookshelf, there was at least half of the books I hadn't read. So how could I know the characters? How could I recommend the books if I didn't actually know it myself? So go in, have a look at the books, keep a certain number of books on the bookshelf, and then just put the others away for now. Just put them away. We're not getting rid of them. We're just going to put them away and read some of these books and get to know the books. And actually, you'll find when you do this, other members of staff join in. You know, other class teachers, teaching assistants, dinner ladies, caretakers, cleaners, school secretary. Suddenly we get these people who go, oh yeah, I really like reading and I'd really like to share a book with the class. Brilliant. We've got this great resource. Once we've got this, we can then have a shelf. And on that shelf, we can have the books that are recommended by certain people. That's when the magic happens, because then children start going up to members of staff and they start interacting about the books. They start talking about the characters. The characters come alive, and suddenly there is this feeling of knowing the characters and a feeling of togetherness between the children and the staff. What I've seen is people put on their doors what book each member of staff is reading at the moment. These corridor conversations are amazing and bring these books to life. Children empathize with the characters. We get these amazing connections between members of staff and children. So that's my first nugget, is get to know your books. Take some of them off, and then you can start to have these conversations with children about the books. Top tip number 2, get 2 of the same book and allow those children to read the book together. They can have a book each, and they have these amazing conversations about the same book. The book comes alive. The children start to get these characters to come alive and they talk about them. And it is so magical when you see those conversations happening. If you've read a book and you see a child reading the same book, go up to them when they're reading and just ask them where they're up to in the book. And then you can just start that lovely dialogue about the story with them. And once again, you get this amazing connection. One of the books that I would recommend for this, and there are many, is this book. And it is called The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. And it's a book that I've read alongside with year 4, 5, 6 children. And when they've read it, they stroke, because this bear becomes a place in their heart. because he goes through so much in his little life, and we feel with him. We feel everything he feels, and it is just heart-wrenching, and it's a roller coaster, and it is one of those books. If you do read it, please tweet me at Senko Girl, sorry, and tell me how you found this book, because it is a book that will become a place in your heart. So that is a book I would highly, highly recommend. Another book that many people will know is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. This unlocks something else with regard to empathy and reading. We can get children to talk to us about images without them having to write anything down. This has been amazing for me in my classroom experience. I open the book, so let's open it randomly. That's a bit scary, isn't it? Oh, there we go. So the picture I've got has no words on. Show it to the class with your visualizer or on the screen, and the children will astound you. I can't remember what top tip we're up to, but another top tip: show the children an image and let them lead the conversation. And I promise you, what they will come out with will be far better than anything you thought they could have come out with. Let's open the conversation up to the children, and they will astound you. They will astound you. And you know, the children that it actually opens up a world to, it's those children who often find writing difficult. But this is not going to involve any writing. This is going to involve them talking. I remember I had a little boy who found writing very difficult. I did this exercise and he opened up and he shone. And he led the class conversation in such an amazing way that it blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. And I saw a different side to him that I would have never seen otherwise. Another resource that you can use for this is Pobble 365. If you haven't used it, it brings up an image every day, or you can choose one of their images. And once again, get the children talking. Get the children talking without the limitations of them having to write about it. And the detail that children see, the detail is amazing. It's amazing that they can just see things in a picture that I would never have considered even looking for. My next top tip, or an idea for you to consider, is if you choose to read a class story to the children, let the children have a doodle pad. Let them draw in their book as you are reading to them. Take that brave pill, let them do it and see what the outcome is. Because I was a bit like, oh, how's this going to go? You know, are they going to be disruptive? They weren't. They were engrossed in what I was saying with regard to the story, and then they doodled. In the same way, sometimes let them put their head on the table, have the light off in the classroom, and just let them absorb the story for what it is, a story being read to them. And my final tip, whatever number we're up to, is someone once said this to me. They said, Ginny, whenever you're reading a story, if you think there is a part in the story that the children might be a little bit confused about, draw it on your whiteboard. And children are so forgiving and they are so appreciative that they will appreciate anything that you draw on the whiteboard. They know you're not an artist, but it will help them understand the story, and they will appreciate anything that you draw on the whiteboard. I am no artist, but the person who told me that was absolutely right. As soon as I start drawing on the whiteboard, the children are with me and they are actually seeing what I'm drawing, and it helps us all to understand the story more, which is amazing. So let's pull it all together. When we've got books, let's know the books, let's share the books, let's enjoy the characters together, and actually we will get that connection between the characters and ourselves. Let's use images without the need for children to actually write sentences about it. Let's let them doodle. And let's enjoy books, and actually let's be a little bit creative about it and enjoy books for what they are. Thank you so much. I'm Ginny Bootman. I'm Senko Girl. You can find me at www.ginnybootman.com. #FollowTheEmpathyRoad. Thank you.